Hey Branson, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How about yourself, sir?
No complaints. No complaints. Doesn't do any good, like we talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you have people who listen all around the world?
Yes, I do. It kind of slowed down when Corona hit, but that's because I kind of closed down my office that I had, and I was sort of working from home
Yeah.
until Corona came back, and now I'm trying to do a lot of more things virtually because of my setup. I can bring in video calls, I can bring in audio calls. So a lot of things that I was doing in the building, I can actually do virtually now. So,
Cool.
and
Wow.
I've been interviewed in a couple countries overseas and been on a couple national TV shows. So,
Wow. That's really cool. Um, what do you think of the class so far? What's your take on what you've been learning or hearing about?
um, I'm I'm enjoying it. I'm learning a lot, especially with things like with the direct to printing shirts and things that can bring money to the artist. Because like here is a lot of talent musically in all the genres, but the artists never really break out like an artist that would in Charlotte or Tennessee.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
so I you give me a lot of resources also that I look at that can really help us push this market music. Because what I think a lot of people don't understand, and I try to tell young kids this, is every major artist is a local artist somewhere. So
Yes.
wherever that local artist is from, that's where they're bringing that money back to. So when you go and pay to see a $200 concert for an artist that's not from your area, you know, when you have artists here that you might can only pay $20 to see, but that will make a difference because a date night, you got to take your woman out or your significant other, you're going to have drinks, you're going to maybe have dinner, you're gonna have a go to a concert, you might not go home, you might get a hotel room. So it's
Yep.
like you're bringing revenue, but we don't have that here from the entertainment side. So you're showing me a lot of options of how to make things happen. Um,
Good.
I've been building um I've been building WordPress sites for people for about 6 or 7 years now. So that's
Okay.
one of my things that I do. And just being being in this area, and I end up going to Full Sail University to learn audio production. But just being in this area, a lot of things I had to learn because there was no one around at the time doing it. So this is the other great resource that you're bringing, connecting people with people who, like the guy yesterday, that
Yeah.
built websites. I wish I
Yeah.
would have known him a long time ago, but um, that
Yeah.
allowed me to learn. So I learned how to build them, but
Yeah. Well, one of the things, I'm going to share my screen with you right now. This is not, I wasn't planning to do this in class today, but I want to do it with you. See if this works here. I just wanted to show you this. So can you see my screen
uh-huh.
where it says entertainment and media?
Yep.
Okay. So this is that company Guten I was talking about. And this is their vertical specifically for entertainment and media.
Mm,
So this will be real helpful for you um, as you think about stuff that you can do, like for example, multi-store management. So you could have a store for each one of your talent, and they would actually provide help you do that. Um, it's just something I thought about for you that might make sense. So it's Guten.com/entertainment dash media, if you can see that URL. So anyway, I thought that might
I
be,
signed up for Guten, I think 2 days ago. So,
okay.
um,
Well, check out this vertical might be, and I'm trying to see what other ones they have. Like this one might be for, other folks in the class. Here's a fashion and apparel vertical. So they've kind of got these verticals that make it a little bit easier to use them, depending on what you're doing. Like here's an example of a t-shirt company that switched to Guten, and I think that's Fanatics, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me just see. Yeah, but anyway, like I'm thinking of Alignment Dancewear that's in our class. They're making this stuff literally by hand. I'll bet you they could figure out a way to add some products that would help them make money when they wouldn't have to spend quite as much time, you know, building and sewing and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to show you that there. All right, let's see here. The other thing I think that today will really may make sense for you. I'm going to be talking about basically cooperation rather than competition, or how to collaborate with other non-competitive organizations. And actually, you can even collaborate with competitive organizations in some cases. But I've got some examples and some ideas that perhaps folks can try with their business and see if they can't grow their business while leveraging other people's customers and awareness and all that other kind of stuff. Hi, Karen. How are you today?
oh, Karen.
Hi there. Now I'm here.
All right. What's going on in the pecan world?
Oh gosh, I just made a delivery
Wow.
to Chef and the farmer, so they're all in well
Good.
and doing good.
Is that pecans or was it other stuff?
Pecans. And
Do they make, what do they make with the pecans? Everything?
well, this time the chef in there said they were doing chocolate pecan pies. And
Mm.
I think they sell them online.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Then they do regular pecans pies, during the holiday, November, December.
Cool. Have you guys worked with any of their new restaurants like down in Charleston or?
I don't know if I don't think she takes any down there. I don't know. I've not been to that new restaurant. I'd like to.
There's two of them down there.
Yeah.
There's one called Lenore and the other is called Hot and Handy or something like that. I can't
Oh, I
remember.
didn't know there was two.
Yeah, one is kind of like Chef and Farmer. It's a big, white tablecloth kind of
Right.
fancy, and then the other one is more of a pickup and to go type of place. I think they have like hand pies and breakfast items and
Oh.
bakery goods. I think I'm not 100% sure,
Yeah.
but
Well, they'll
and
do
then
well.
Ben, her husband Ben, has a pizzeria in Wilmington called Big Time Benny's Pizza.
Right. I knew
And,
about that one.
Yeah, and I think that is sit down as well as carry out.
Mhm.
But I unfortunately I've not been anywhere. I haven't left here in a year. So someday.
Well, yeah, Tim and I got our shots and we went and celebrated at the Chef and the Farmer.
Oh,
And
good for you.
She used upstairs. I always like to, support
Yeah, oh yeah.
local people. And
Yeah.
And it was delicious.
Oh, good. That's
Had,
good. Yeah,
flounder.
we're done with our shots too, and we got to see my grandkids for the first time in a long time up in the
Oh.
DC area a month or so ago. That was really something.
Are
It's
they
just hard to
local?
believe how much they grow in a short period of time.
Oh, yeah, they
It's just
do.
nuts.
That first year.
Yeah. So
So-
we're glad to do that.
Where do they live, Dennis?
They live in Bethesda.
Oh,
My
Maryland.
son lives in Bethesda. Our other grandkid is in London.
Oh, wow.
So we haven't been there since he was born. He's 17 months old now. But we'll be getting back over there. They've been more locked down than we have, actually. They've had much more, much stricter. Their grandparents live 5 miles away and they haven't seen them in a year. I mean, it's just
Oh,
crazy,
gosh.
5 miles away. Well, that's not 100% true. They have been able to meet them in a park, or there's a couple of examples where they've been able to do it, but it's been very, very rare,
Mhm.
unfortunately. So kind of
Yeah.
crazy. But,
Well, London's a good place to go.
yeah, we've been there twice, and
It's okay.
I had never been there before and really didn't know what to expect, but I loved it. I thought it was just
Mhm.
unbelievable. And last year, or last time we went, however long ago that was, we actually spent the Christmas holidays there. We were there for almost a month, and
Hmm.
that was fantastic. We ended up going down to Southwest England to where the family has a vacation house or whatever, and that was just this little tiny village. It was really fun walking around there and seeing the sights of medieval
Mhm.
England. Yeah,
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed it.
And, we stopped at it was kind of a pub thing, and it was like 400 years old. I
I,
mean, that kind of thing. We
yeah,
don't have that in America.
it is crazy. One of the things my wife wanted to do, which I wanted to just jump off the cliff, was she wanted to go to um, a China manufacturer. She wanted to go to
Oh,
the
rice.
what the hell is it now? I can't think of the name of it, but it's a big one up in northeast England. Uh, so anyway, I was like, oh my God. So we got on the train, we rode for 2 hours up there. And I was like just hating life, the idea of looking at China. And but it turned out that it was this incredible experience. And this guy, Joshua Wedgwood was his name, back in the early 1600s was this genius. And he invented all of these material science things, like to put color on plates and different materials, bonded gold, metal, ceramic. And he had thousands of designs, and each one was in a drawer with a drawing of the design and all the instructions on how to make it. And there's just thousands of these little drawers.
Amazing.
Yeah, and so he also was the guy who funded Darwin. He was the money behind Darwin and Darwin's research. So it's just things you never knew about or had any reason to think about, I guess. All right, so I will now greet everybody. Hey, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Today, I'm going to talk about really collaboration. And this can be both competitive collaboration and non-competitive. I think I put non-competitive in the title, but I wanted to just really point out there might be some opportunities for you all to partner with others that either are competitive or non-competitive. We can talk about both, but certainly non-competitive seems like a really logical thing to do, to possibly partner with. So I've got some examples I'm going to go over. So let me share my screen, and we'll do that. Okay. And hopefully you can see that. Now this is this particular article is a little bit more about competitors than non-competitors, but I think the concept kind of works the same way. One of the things that people tend to think about, especially when you're getting started, is you think of yourself as kind of this lone ranger, or this operation that's out there, trying to make a name for yourself and trying to be competitive and build a clientele. So you naturally think of competitors as not good. But maybe there are some ways that you can work. And one of these ways is what's called a brand collaboration. So we've talked a lot about brands. We've talked about building your brand story, building your brand identity. This is where some of that stuff starts to come into play. And the other thing I think to think about which is really cool from my perspective, is the execution of a brand collaboration is actually far easier today than it ever has been historically. Historically, if you wanted to collaborate with somebody, you would have to spend money on TV or radio ads, or possibly a magazine ad or newspaper ad, some kind of paid media to do your collaboration. So that was usually, you wouldn't see much in that space except from really big companies who already had the media and the opportunity to buy media. But with social media, Facebook, our websites, email, etc., we are now in a position where you actually can do that. So this I hate when they use these big examples, but it gets the point across. So this is Ben and Jerry and Nike on a collaboration, and it may well be that the collaboration was just for Instagram. That's not unusual at all. It can be a very specific time, start, a specific channel. But in this case, they created some flavor called Chunky Dunky, and I guess you can win a pair of Nikes, enter for your chance to win a pair of Chunky Dunkies, blah, blah, blah. The thing I like about this also is what Ben and Jerry's is doing is they're gathering information about potential customers by people entering this competition or this contest. They're given a lot of information, right? It could be as simple as their name and email address, or it could be something much more extensive. But this type of thing can be executed on social media pretty easily. And I could imagine in some cases, you might have several collaborations going at one time with different people on different channels. You might have one on Instagram and a different one on Facebook. Or you may want to just have one just to make it simple, one collaboration across multiple channels. So in this case here, obviously we're talking about national brands, but you would argue that the Ben and Jerry's customer isn't necessarily a Nike customer, and vice versa. A Nike customer isn't necessarily a Ben and Jerry's, but both brands have what I call a halo effect. Both are known as quality brands. Whether you're a customer or not, you're probably familiar with both brands. So that's a really good idea. In our area, just to kind of give you an example, what I have noticed is that if you watch the local NBC affiliate, and I know there's lots of channels around here, and some of you aren't even here, but WITN is the NBC affiliate in Greenville. And I noticed that their advertisers are a relatively small number of advertisers who advertise a lot, right? There's a lot of personal injury lawyers, there's a lot of car dealerships, there's 264 shoes, there's, and there are others that are on there on a seasonal basis. All of those companies, from my way of thinking, are potential partners to approach to doing something together, especially if they, by their own good offices, decide to promote the collaboration with their paid media. That's even better, right? You don't have to say, hey, you got to run this ad on NBC, but they may choose to do that, which can help you. And that's a local example. I think there are other examples in other towns and cities in the area. Certainly the Outer Banks. I think you could make an approach to the different tourism bureaus or different groups that are out there, farmers markets, other markets, grocery stores. If your product is sold in that grocery store, they might well do a collaboration with you, a brand collaboration or a promotion. They like stuff like that makes things a little bit easier. So this next part is about a competitive collaboration. And see if we got some example here. I'm not going to read you the whole thing. Oops, sorry about that. I went the wrong way. And I still went the wrong way. Sorry about that. Okay. You could work with someone in the same space. For example, if you're a food producer, you're a restaurant, you're a farmer, or you have some other competitor in your space, some sort of collaboration could grow the market for both of you and not be an either or type of thing. It's a little bit different and maybe a harder sale than a non-competitive collaboration. But you can do it, and it does work. Surprisingly, it's something that you may not necessarily think about. This next example, they're talking about the difference between collaboration and co-branding. I really don't believe that any of us in this class at this moment are really prospects for a co-branding. I think that's a little bit of a heavier lift. A collaboration allows each business to kind of keep its own identity. When you get into co-branding, it becomes a much more integrated and much more complicated thing. They're using some example here like Microsoft and Intel. I don't really see them as competitors. I see them as needing each other. Microsoft does software, Intel does hardware, but they're using it as an example of competitive collaboration. I'm not sure I agree. This is a pretty good one. Vimeo, those of you who are familiar with that software, and YouTube, historically, everyone thought Vimeo and YouTube competed with each other. But recently, Vimeo partnered with YouTube so that if you make a Vimeo video, you can automatically publish it on YouTube as well. So now both businesses have grown because of this collaboration. You don't have to choose one or the other. You can choose both. So I thought that was pretty cool. Another example here, and this might be something like with Branson with the radio station, for example. This is an example of a collaboration that is not competitive. In this case, it's Uber and Spotify. Spotify is a music streaming service you've probably heard of. Uber is a ride-sharing business. But I could see examples of this where you could partner with Branson's radio station, perhaps, on some kind of promotion that would kind of look like this, and maybe even have some content like a song or a video, something different to try to attract a wider audience for what you're doing. I think the other thing that this, and I'm going to post this link for everybody here, but this is a great example here. This was a time when McDonald's and Burger King collaborated, believe it or not, on a promotion for McDonald's charity, their houses that they have for people who are in for hospital type stuff. And so if you bought something at Burger King donated money to McDonald's, or I don't know all the details, but this is a pretty powerful collaboration. You can see with a crazy Burger King guy holding hands with a Ronald McDonald, just to kind of give you an idea. So anyway, this, I'm going to post this. There's a lot of instruction here, what to look at, how to find competitors or collaborators, even how to keep things civil. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. But this is one of the best guides I've run across on how you do that. Pretty cool. I got another one here that I want to share. And this one is much more local. So let me pull this up. So I don't know if you all know Tabletop Media. They're in Raleigh, and they're a company, I just happen to know them pretty well. And they're a company that works with restaurants and food people pretty extensively. And this is their monthly email that they send out. But it was really interesting to me. This just came this morning, that it's all about collaboration. So I have to show you some of these things, right? So here is two Raleigh businesses, a Raleigh Rolls, which makes some kind of rolls, and a Japanese steakhouse. And they've collaborated on the Kanki tempura ice cream rolls that they're cooperating with, and both places, I'm assuming, are selling it. But that's an example of a local collaboration that to me makes sense, in this case here. Here's another one. There's a cafe called Sassoul, you may be familiar with, and a bakery, Chez Moi Bakery. They're creating a mini lemon curd tart. And they're collaborating together, and they're doing it just for the month of May. And in here, it shows you how the collaboration worked. But these are some pretty, non-national, non-big scale like Ben and Jerry's and Nike that show the example of working together and how both enterprises can benefit by this. And in both these cases, to my knowledge, these are being executed on social media and email. There's not ad campaigns, there's not television ads, and all that kind of thing. So I think that's pretty cool. These guys do a really good job. So if you want a referral to them, I'm happy. One of the things they do really good is in all their emails, they feature a client and they tell everyone about the client. I don't know if you've ever thought about doing that in your emails that you send out, where you tell your customers about one of your clients. Maybe it's like in Karen's case, maybe it's Chef and Farmer, or the chef at the farm, Chef and Farmer may not be well known at this point. You might have a little story about, hey, here's the new chef at Chef and the Farmer. That might be passed around by the folks at the restaurant, as well as to your own customers. So, okay. So that's what I have for this today. I'm going to post all these links, but one of the things that you can do, if you put collaboration in YouTube, you'll get a gazillion examples. There were so many that I decided not to use it because I literally couldn't tell which was the best one. I just didn't have time to go through them all, but there were dozens upon dozens of how to do it, how to lay it out, how to do the graphics, terms, contracts, you name it. It's very, very extensive. And I was really surprised to see that's such a heavy lift there. So have any of you all tried collaborating with either non-competitive or a nonprofit or anybody like that? Anyone had that experience?
I have.
Great. Tell us about it.
I did a collaborative project with the ECU Department of Disparities. We did a Hip Hop for Health, where they used my beats, and I worked with young artists, and we did a collaborative project. And then at the end, we teamed up with Walmart to give the kids $500 gift cards.
Wow.
Also, I did a collaborative event with the city of Winterville, where that's the flyer I put up in the chat, and it has different businesses from Winterville, and then we went to the businesses who weren't sponsoring and got them to give gifts to give to the citizens of Winterville. And then we brought music out, a whole variety, live band, live performances, and basically the businesses that sponsored were able to come out and give out their products. And we had 3,000 people to show up. So a little town like Winterville, to get 3,000 people to show up for about 5 hours, and the businesses got to get up on stage and tell what they did. So
wow, that's a pretty powerful stuff. Now, were you able, or did you guys bother to try to capture email or any kind of follow-up contact information?
The first year we did, and the second year we did, we started doing, while we did, we got tickets. And what you had to do is, to get a ticket, you had to give your email and address and everything. And then you got a ticket, and the ticket gave you free food for the day and being able to go to the different tables and get gift bags. So that gave us a count of the people and the emails.
Oh, cool. Yeah, well, these are some great examples. This is Wandell put this in the chat. This is a flyer that promotes a program in Winterville also. But apparently Winterville's the place to be, I guess. Who knew? I didn't. But anyway, this is an example of a collaboration really with quite a few businesses. And it looks here like down in the lower left that these graphics were donated by a partner here, in this case,
Yes.
WH Media. So I think that's pretty cool example here. And that's quite a bit Each one of these groups, I would imagine, have somewhat of a following that you can leverage. So these are great examples. So, okay. Let's see here what I'm doing. I'm going to stop sharing that. Okay. I'm gonna try to do this one here. Okay, we'll give this a shot now. This is a little bit off the subject, but I thought it was really good. So we talked a little bit about influencer marketing, where you get somebody famous to talk about your brand or your product. This article tells you how to use your dog or your pet to become an influencer, which I think is very cool. I mean, you could get very creative with this. You could use a rabbit, you could use, a cat, you could use a dog, whatever. I'll post a link in here, but apparently people have been able to get a lot of traction by promoting their pet in some way. Some of the farmers might use cows or pigs or something. That'd be pretty funny, I think. Get a picture of Mr. Haney from Green Acres and use him or something. I don't know. But this I thought was pretty cute and pretty cool idea, to gain some traction. So, all right. Well, anyone else? Any thoughts on this idea? Do you think it's a good idea? Or you think it could pay off in your case?
Yeah, I like the idea of collaboration. And recently I learned about backlinking to other businesses. So that's definitely something I want to try to figure out with us.
Yeah.
Is so that we can connect with other businesses, whether they're related or not.
Yeah.
To help the SEO for all of our businesses.
Yeah. One of the things to keep in mind, and this is just my own pet peeve, it doesn't mean it's necessarily true for you, but there are a lot of technical things you can do to connect, like backlinks and other SEO. We will have a guy, Warren Allen, will be coming on to speak about Google. He's like the world's leading Google expert who lives in Greenville and does a lot of work locally. But also, I think these other kinds of collaboration give you a chance to use your personality, use your unique set of skills to let people know who you are, and that's obviously more of a local or regional effort. It's not the same thing as going global or whatever, but I think it's a mix of the two. I think that the technical stuff is good, the SEO, but I really like the going live, which we talked about, or the getting involved in some of these collaborative programs as a way to just get people to be introduced to you. And one of the things I haven't seen a lot of around here, but one of the things that really works is making compelling offers when you do a collaboration. We tend to price everything, like every item has to make a certain amount of money or we can't stay in business. But actually, in the beginning, if you're trying to attract new customers, sometimes free giveaways or discounts or buy one, get one, or some sort of unique and special offer to new customers in particular, in the long run will pay off. If you're able to get them to give you a try and have a chance to sell them again, that's a really important thing to keep in mind in your marketing. I would not price those kind of efforts the same way as you might price all your regular product in pricing. It's a common mistake that I see, that people say, well, I can't sell it at that price because I'll go out of business. No, you just limit it for a period of time or a promotion or a code or something. You don't have to make it a forever thing. But I do think that's something I'd like to see more of in this area, more promotion that really stands out, and people, will give you a chance and give you a shot. Otherwise, they'd have no real reason to give you a try. So, anyone else have anything else they want to comment on this subject? Okay. Well, that's all I have for today. Kind of a short day, but I think it's important. The idea of collaboration is something that obviously some of you have been thinking about. And any way I can help or our team can help, with thinking through or referrals to people who maybe can help with graphics or whatever, happy to help with that. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see everyone on Monday. Have a good weekend.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.